Okay, so just minutes ago, I saw Dave Castro's post about the 2020 CrossFit Games. I am not one for these reaction type videos, but I anticipate a lot of anger and negativity, and I kind of wanted to pop in and try and be a voice of reason. So let's get to it. So to sum it up for everyone who maybe hasn't seen his post or hasn't heard the news, basically the CrossFit Games are still gonna happen. They're gonna happen in Aromas, no spectators. And it is only going to include the top 20 men and women from the Open and the champions of any sanctionals that were able to happen before this whole coronavirus debacle. So that means there's no age group athletes, masters or teens, there's no teams, and there are no national champions. So I'll start by addressing all the stuff that sucks about these changes. But then after I address that, I want to move on. I don't want to just complain and dream of all the could haves, would haves, and, you know, compare it to what we want the games to be. Anyways, so this stuff, of course, we're gonna be bummed about it. I think we're all allowed to be bummed about it. It sucks for all of the age group athletes and all of the team athletes and all of the national champions that have been working so hard this past year. It absolutely sucks that they do not get to compete on this stage. They've been training so hard all year, many years, you know, to get to this point, and to not be able to see that all the way through. It absolutely sucks. It is a total bummer. It also sucks for all of the athletes whose sanctionals they were gaming for don't get to happen. Anyone that was planning to qualify through a sanctional from March through July, you know, those sanctionals don't happen, and so now they don't get that chance to compete and to try for that top spot. It sucks for those athletes too, you know? I mean, it sucks for the spectators that we don't get to be there. It sucks for the athletes that are competing that there aren't any spectators. You know, I think not having spectators sucks for us as fans, but it also sucks for those athletes. You know, that atmosphere is a huge part of competing. And it's one of the reasons a lot of them do it, I'm sure. You know, and so all that stuff sucks. And all those athletes that have been working so hard towards this goal that now don't have the chance to see it through, like, it sucks for them. We can be sad for them. You know, they can be as sad as they want to be. Like, there's just no way around it. It just sucks. And that's just kind of matter of fact. You know what I mean? But there's nothing we can do about it. I think that this isn't CrossFit just making arbitrary decisions. I think they're doing the best they can with what they've got. So I don't think it's going to do us any good to dwell on this and to complain about it or be angry about it or yell at people about it. Like, I don't think that's gonna be helpful for anyone. Like, I mean, like I said, it's okay to be bummed, but I mean, what choice did they have? You know, to bring the national champions in, to bring the age group athletes in, to bring the team athletes in, that it like, the amount of people that would be at Aromas, like, gets exponentially bigger. And now you're talking about putting like millions of lives at risk. Not that there will be millions at Aromas, but the, you know, the whole thing about this virus is that, you know, every infected person can infect 3 people, and it kind of spider webs out. So it's not just the people that would be at Aromas that would be at risk. It's all of those people that they then go home to. You know what I mean? And all the people that they then come in contact with on their way homes. So I just think we are going through like a wild, unprecedented time, and it just kind of sucks all around. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yes, this 2020 season is like kind of not at all what we expected, right? And it's not at all what we would have hoped for these athletes, right? Or even for ourselves as a community. But is that not the case with kind of everything this year? You know, there are multiple events and concerts and festivals like that I have been planning on going to and that I was excited about, and it's just not happening. And I think that as frustrating as it is and as shitty as it is, like, there's just nothing we can do about it. And so I'm trying to not sit in the negativity. You know, I kind of have my moment, I'm kind of bummed, but then you just kind of have to move past it. Like, everyone is having those experiences. Everyone is missing out on things that they wanted to experience this year, but it's just out of our control. You know, and I think the CrossFit Games could have just said, 2020 is a wash, there's no games this year, right? But they didn't. They're trying their best to make something happen and do it in a safe and responsible way. So I think I just would rather, you know, have this moment of being bummed and acknowledging the things that suck about this, but then let's choose to move forward in positivity, right? So I think, you know, the games are still gonna be exciting to watch. There's still going to be top level athletes giving it their all and fighting for that title, and that is always going to be something that is exciting for us to watch. I think having it at Aromas is going to be cool. I mean, I think it will anyway. I feel like every time they go to the ranch, it's kind of this like nice reminder of our very humble beginnings and kind of where this all started, and you know, the reasons why we do this. It's bigger than the flash and the pomp and circumstance. It's like so much deeper than that, and I think for some reason this location is a really good reminder of that. You know, there's not much else. There's not a lot of other positives to like spin out of this. I'm not gonna pretend like there's all of these like cool things that are gonna come of these changes. There's not. But I think that we just have to know that this is just kind of the way the world is for right now, and there's not a lot we can do about it. So we just have to accept this for what it is and move forward and not try and sit in that anger. I think we can be bummed out. I think we can be frustrated. I think we can be disappointed. I just don't think anger is going to suit any of us. So I'm still gonna watch the CrossFit Games. I'm still gonna cheer on the athletes that will be there. And I'm still going to, you know, feel sad for the athletes that didn't get a chance to be there. Should the 2020 Fittest on Earth perhaps have an asterisk next to their title? I don't know. It's not gonna be a full playing field, so to speak, but you know, it is what it is. So now, the talk of the town is, are we going to see a Froning versus Fraser matchup? Because there are no teams, but Froning did qualify technically through the Open as an individual. I'm gonna put money on no. As much as I would love to see a Froning versus Fraser matchup, I think it would only be fair to both of them if they had been both training for it. I think Froning would rather not go to the games than go to the games and lose. And I don't mean that necessarily that he like would only go if it was a sure thing that he would win, but I just think like training as an individual and training as a team athlete, they're just very different, right? That's why he made the move to begin with. So he didn't have to put in all of that time and all of that work to be ready to go at the individual elite level, you know, gunning for that #1 spot. So for him to just fully change his training now 4 months out to try and go individual. I mean, I don't think it's smart. It's not what he's been training for. It's not what he's ready for. I mean, listen, if he goes, props to him. Like, A+ for effort. I hope he gives Fraser a run for his money. I just don't think he's going to. I think that as much as we'd love to see it and as much as we can get our hopes up, I would be very surprised if he went to the games as an individual. So, sorry to burst any bubbles, but that's all I gotta say about that. Anyway, that really is all I have to say about that. Just a reminder to try and not sit in the negativity. It's okay to not be happy about this, but let's just try to acknowledge that and then acknowledge that this just is what it is, and this is not a feeling or situation that's isolated to CrossFit even. We just gotta keep moving forward, you know, with whatever the world is gonna throw at us. And right now that's changing week by week. So I know that it can be hard at times and that there's a lot of frustration that comes with our current situation, but just try to be positive. Let's just try, right? Because we're all doing our best. Castro and Glassman included. We are all just doing our best right now. Well, happy Sunday. I've got 7 healthy, simple recipes coming at you next week because I am currently on a cut and a lot of you asked about recipes. So I've got 7 dinners coming at you next Sunday. But until then, see ya.